Hey, this is especially for you brothers, because y'all are so cool. Y'all my boys, and I'm so looking forward to this interview. You asked for this joint right here, and I'm gonna give you this joint right here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Cedric, Stephen Cedric Show. Talking to the band. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Yes, Man, that's beautiful.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to this interview with you, brothers. Thank y'all so much, y'all.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Johnny Britt.
Wow.
Johnny Britt.
Wow. Hey, that's the way to start the show, man. That's what's up.
But that was definitely that was an impromptu performance because I had no idea what I was going to be doing when I came on this show.
Wow.
Man, we love it. We love it, man. Johnny,
Man,
how
that
you
was
doing,
fantastic.
Man, I'm doing really good. It's kind of like, I'm here to serve, I'm here to please. So Steve said, hey man, can you do one of them songs? That song that you did with Marion Metal. I said, well, the way I feel, oh man, I ain't played that song in so long. I had to practice it. And I said, all right, you want it? Here you go.
Man, we love it, man. Johnny Britt, man, you are just an amazing artist. Writer, singer. Tell us a little bit about how this all got started with you, man. You're legendary in this game.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. It all started for me in Cleveland, Ohio. I was actually born in Louisville, Kentucky, but we moved to Cleveland right when I was really, really young, and I started trumpet. Actually, I played trumpet in school band, and Arsenio Hall was the drummer, and that's how we started a band together, and had dreams of becoming something. And I went from Cleveland, and I went to Paris, France, to study at the Conservatoire de Versailles with Roger Delmont, who was the first trumpet player in the Paris Opéra. So. And I got that under my belt, did a lot of things over in Paris. From there, I went to Chicago, the mighty Chi, where, and I always say, I spent 10 years in Chicago. That was really the most exciting years of my life. Chicago is really like home to me. I've met so many people and I've done so many things in Chicago that Chicago is just, Chicago is Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
absolutely.
Yes, it is.
But the story goes, Otis Williams from the Temptations, he actually discovered me in Chicago. He was at the Holiday Star Theater, and this whole story is like, I have a new book that's coming out, and it's a long story. I don't know if I can explain it here, but he discovered me at the Holiday Star Theater. Long story short, I kind of snuck in backstage. He didn't know me, I didn't know him. And I ran into him and I told him I wanted to be his musical director. and long story short, he kind of gave me a shot, and I wrote like an overture, and it kind of blew him and Melvin away, and that's how I became the musical director. And that's what enabled me to, move to Los Angeles with a job, with a great.
Hey man, I hear you.
Yeah, with a great, and it was just an opportunity. And the reason I came, I took that move because I remember, again, living in Chicago, I did a lot of jingles. I'm a singer, so I sang jingles. I went to school there, and a lot of stuff, just really getting my jazz chops and everything there in the blues clubs and just everything that Chicago has to offer. But I never forget, I had a meeting with a producer named Bobby Whiteside, and he told me one thing. He says, Johnny, I have one regret in my life. I said, what's that, Bobby? He said, I didn't go to LA 10 years ago. He says, I was with Barbra Streisand and I didn't go. And I remember, how certain things, when you hear certain things, they just really penetrate. And man, I said to myself right there, I said, if I ever got the shot, if I ever got that one chance, that one opportunity, I'm not gonna let it pass. And so when I got the shot with the Temps, I took it. And I've been out here for a number of years, made it very successful, and I'm just so thankful about that.
Wow. Sonny, you was getting ready to say something. You were going to add something?
Wow. I was just wondering, did you have any idea that Otis would be there that day?
Okay, this is a story. It's going to be in the book. I was playing in a top 40 band. I play keyboards, and of course I sing and play trumpet. But this particular gig, I had just finished doing some stuff with Kool and the Gang. I was actually, I was into my master's program in college, got a call from Kool and the Gang when it was really hot, that Emergency album. I'm singing background on Cherish. We went down to the Bahamas to record that album with the guys. And when I came back, I got into a top 40 band that I did it for a gig, a job. I'm not into just playing other people's music, but I did it. It was constant. And they played a lot in Indiana. And they happened to be playing at this place called the Holiday Star Theater. They were playing in the club section where everybody danced. And when I drove in to the gig that day, I saw on the big marquee, the Temptations are performing,
Wow.
in the big theater, and so no, I did not know. And me, I'm pretty, the way I think, I know the way I've gotten to where I've gotten because I am not shy. I'm pretty bold, and I'm very I go after it. No one's gonna just kind of give it to me. So on one of our breaks, I ran over to the theater, and it just so happened that I knocked on the backstage door, and this big security guard, his name is Dragon. Of course, I know him now because I was part of the whole touring circuit with the Temptations. He slammed the door in my face because I asked, "Can I speak with Otis?" He slammed the door in my face, and so I peeked into the auditorium. I just put my head into the auditorium, and it just so happened, guys, that the concert just let out because I only had like about a half-hour break. I had to get back to work. And the auditorium was empty.
Dang.
Wow.
I walked into the auditorium. I jumped on the stage. I jumped on stage. And I went backstage. And the first person I ran into in the green room was who? Otis.
Wow.
First person I ran into.
What a story.
I'm coming this way.
What a story, man.
And I said, "Hi, Mr. Williams. My name is Johnny Britt." I said, "I have some songs, I think you'd be interested in because I'm a very good songwriter, I feel. And I know that one thing I learned a long time ago is that everyone needs a hit, a song.
Yeah, that's perfect.
If you have one today, you're gonna need one tomorrow. So that's what I said, "Hey, man, I have some songs I think you'd be interested in." He looked at me like I was crazy. Then he said, "Come to my room tomorrow night, 7:00." And so, because we were playing in the little club, and I was there, dude. I was there, gave him the music, and the rest is history.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's an amazing story, bro.
It's funny because, like I said, I have a brand new book. It'll be out probably like next month. I'm very proud of the book. Actually, a great writer. She just reached out to me. Arlene Krieger is her name. And she just says, "I'd like to write a book on you. I'd like to write your life story. I think that, you have an amazing life and people want to hear it." And we did it. We spent 2 years on it, a couple years on the book, and we're in the very final stages right now, going to editing to the publisher and stuff. And Otis Williams forwarded the book for me. And he basically, and he says exactly what I just told you.
Wow, man.
This young kid. Yeah.
One quick question, Mr. Johnny. Right now you're on tour with, are you on tour with Little Anthony and the Imperials?
Yeah, I sing first tenor with them. I work with the great Little Anthony. I sing first tenor, and that job came about because they were looking for a musical director, and I got the call for that. And when I got to Las Vegas, they flew me to Vegas. It was for 2 jobs. It was for Vegas and South Carolina. I'll never forget. I didn't know anyone. And the manager, I was learning the keyboard parts, which was cool. But the manager says, he says to me, "Can you sing the low note?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "Can you sing the low note?" I said, "Man, I'm a singer." I said, "Yeah." He didn't know me. So when he was putting that kind of emphasis on, I said, "Well, let me check out this harmony and check out the phrasing, let me check out these tunes." And so I learned it's the baritone part, the baritone part was missing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this at the time, but something happened with one of the Imperials, one of the original Imperials. I have nothing to do with it, don't know nothing about it. But he wasn't there. There was only 2 Imperials and Lil Anthony. And we go to sound check, we do the first song. Anthony's been around for years, and he comes over.
This is "I Think I'm Going Out of My Head," Lil Anthony.
Right. I think I'm going out of my head, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We, like the first tune, I'm back there playing piano, the Imperials start singing, and I'm right there with the Imperials. I mean, I know how to sing. I've been doing this for years. So I'm like with them cats, like we doing "Going Out of My Head." And man, Anthony comes back and he gives me a high five, and then we do another tune, like maybe we do like "Hurt So Bad" or something. And then one of the other Imperials said, "Welcome to Little Anthony and the Imperials." And I still don't know what's happening.
Oh, wow.
We do a show, it's sold out in Vegas, and I'm like there with them, like singing backgrounds, playing keys. And then we go straight from that gig to South Carolina, another show. We did 2 shows there, singing background. And you do these gigs and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, because they go through musicians like crazy. So you don't know if this is the last time you're going to see them. And when I get home, man, Anthony called me himself, and I didn't know like what to expect. He says, "Mr. Britt," he says, "you're better than advertised," and I don't know where this is going. He says, "The fellas really like you," and he says, "I love you," and I still don't know where this is going, guys. He says, "I want to offer you to come up front with us."
Crazy.
Just that. And I said to him, I said, "Well, Anthony, I have my own career. I have my own thing because I do, and I don't want to give that up for Little Anthony and Imperials or Temptations or anybody else because I have my own dreams." He said, "That's all right." He says, you keep doing what you're doing." He says, "And I'm going to promote you. I'm going to introduce you to my audience." And he said, he said, "You think about it. So you got to think about it."
That's
and
crazy.
I told him I would do it. And, I'm singing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group.
Right. Wow.
I guess I'm an honorary member of the Hall of Fame. Classic.
I hear you on that.
Man, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this, since we're talking about this type of thing. Of course, I was a musical director for the Temptations, but that led me to becoming the co-music producer for the Emmy Award-winning film, The Temptations. I was the co-music producer on that film, and I did all the music, Leon, my boy, and then that led me to become the co-music producer for the Little Richard story with
Wow.
Townsend. He directed that. And of course, we just lost Little Richard. And so it was amazing. I have pictures with him on the set. I'm just so honored and blessed that I had a chance to be involved with greatness like this.
That's what's up.
Man,
That's
such a
what's up.
rich career, Johnny.
That's
Yeah,
what's
Very
up.
rich career, man.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about, just moving forward, jazz. Where is it at today, man? And where how you feel about, the state of jazz,
right,
on the music scene.
That's a really good question. I just want to start by telling you I play jazz, but I'm not a jazz musician, and I've had this phobia for me for a number of years. I guess you guys know that I founded the group called Impromptu, and we're on Motown Mo Jazz Records, and it was funny because I founded that group, and this group was one of the first groups to mix hip hop and jazz and the whole fusion thing, So, I'm an R&B singer. I sing. Marvin Gaye is my influence. I'm a trumpet player.
Yes, sir.
I'm a jazz trumpet player. Miles is my influence. So, and like when people. It's been funny because like my friends will say, "Hey, I want you to meet my friend, the jazz musician Johnny Britt," and I just want to kick him because I don't, I just labels are just like I just don't necessarily like it. And with the group Impromptu, for example, when record stores are open, Tower Records, man, you could see us in the jazz section, the R&B section, the hip hop section. So it was so I appreciate that, and it's cool because jazz is like a very high standard. But I am I'm more than a jazz musician. So I will answer that question, but I just want to just like I don't want people to, just because they see the horn. I think when people see the horn, they right away, they say he's a jazz trumpet player, which I am, but I'm more than that, and I just kind of wanted to let your fans kind of know that I'm a singer, and I happen to play trumpet. But, I think that, I was on Motown Records, Mo Jazz Records, and we had big budgets and we had big everything, and the playing field, the game is totally changed now, especially for people our age. The whole thing is just changed. So you have to you can't like wait on a record deal anymore like we used to, and I was one of the fortunate ones to actually be able to have one. But the state of jazz, I would say, is an interesting question, because what do you call jazz? Like, what are you calling jazz?
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
What are you calling jazz?
Yeah.
Steve?
Well, I'm thinking about contemporary. Okay, so I remember there was a time. I mean, when in Chicago, and you may remember this, being from Chicago, where they had 95.5, I believe it was, contemporary jazz station, and a lot of that's gone now.
Right.
WNTA 95.
Well, I don't like using this word, but I've had a lot of success in it, and it's called smooth jazz.
Right.
I don't
Right.
I don't like saying that, but again, I've written, 3 #1 hit songs for Boney James. I'm just about on all of his albums as a writer. I've written for a lot of those guys, Paul Brown, Huge Groove, Rick Braun. I mean, I've written stuff for these cats. So, I'm not mad at it, but the reason I think I don't know. The reason I kind of feel a little bit the way I feel, because in the heyday of smooth jazz, and I don't know if you noticed, but brothers couldn't get in, is what I'm trying to say. Brothers couldn't. There was a thing called broadcast architect at the time, and it was like, and again, I've had success, and I'm just giving you like my opinion, what I know. It was, I would say, Black artists that you would hear on the radio would maybe be 5% of 100%. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm not racist, I'm not whatever, but it was just a shame that that artists like George Duke wasn't really on the radio. I mean, Black artists were not on the radio, and I can name all the white cats that got big shots. And another thing is, it's like now, because they were on terrestrial radio and getting out of heavy airplay, the Black folks are their audience, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like this music, smooth jazz, what we're talking about, which is cool. People our age, they don't, it's R&B music that's instrumental. That's basically what it is, and it's cool. But what I'm saying, is just like, the audience is, to me, it's majority African American. The audience, the person that is drawing this Black audience is, you can call him Huge Groove. It could be Boney. It could be, just pick them. Your favorite guys, Peter White. And but these are people coming to see, and their bands, they have brothers in the bands. Blah 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 blah. The promoters are white. And so I will say that again, I was successful as a writer. I just started doing contemporary jazz, my last couple albums. This first time I've ever just played my horn without singing on stuff. That's how I got on Sirius XM, this song that you asked me to play, etc. But I just want to just give you, my opinion. I think that the playing field has leveled out a great deal, because broadcast architect is gone. I think African Americans have a chance now. Like you've heard me on the radio. Trumpet players have chances now. It's like, you got 100 saxophone players, and you could count, you got Rick Braun.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't even tell me who the trumpet players are. I mean, they're on the radio that are eating or whatever. So what I am saying is, now, I mean, I think the state of this music for us, it's making a turn from, because again, now we can put out our own records, which I'm on my own record label. The playing field is just much more even. I just think that the guys that got that shot, I'm not saying, they're just, they're further way ahead of the game because they are a draw now. If I ain't gonna say no names, if such and such come to Chicago, it'll be sold out because they know them from the past, whatever, and then, artists that are, just not getting the chance because broadcast architect's not there. It takes a little bit more to build up the fan base and the trust and et cetera, et cetera. So I think the music is cool.
But I guess what I'm asking though, Johnny, is do you see a resurgence of the smooth jazz in the future? Do you see it actually coming back strong? Or you see it as just something that was just kind of be there, but not really be as popular as it once was?
Well, this is
And what do you tell a young person trying to break into the music industry now?
you talking about the
Yeah.
smooth jazz industry? What
Yeah.
industry are you talking about? You talking
Smooth jazz.
Okay, cool. That's a good question. Let me just take a couple of steps back. When terrestrial radio started going away, all the smooth jazz stations in Chicago and Cleveland, blah 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 blah, they started going away because they just went away. I don't know why. Maybe the ratings weren't big, etc. It was corporately owned, but what happened was like Sirius XM radio like took over. Sirius has only been around, seems like maybe 15 years or so, whatever. So when this conglomerate really took over, this is what has, to me, has leveled out the playing field for for all of us now. Now all of us, it's not, so what happened is when those radio stations went away, I was the first one to say, "Oh man, smooth jazz is dead," because there ain't no radio stations, and they were closing down in Oakland, and Chicago, and in L.A. and San Francisco. I mean, the smooth jazz stations, who made a lot of these cats household names, they started going, they went away, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and then all of a sudden, I heard about this Watercolors and Sirius XM radio. And that's like the savior of this music. I mean, just in regards to reaching, the entire United States. It's a syndicated radio station. So I think that, in my opinion, I think that it has revived the music. And as you can see, there are more records that are coming out than ever because people can do their records. They can pay the record promoters, and if it's good enough, get it on the radio, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's cool. I mean, I think that like this generation from say 45 to whatever and upwards, I think they're used to this kind of music. And I think that especially women of color, because they're not going to be into bebop and straight ahead music, stuff that I like, or avant-garde, they want some stuff that's sexy, has a back, has a groove, they don't want too many notes. And that's all cool, but that's what the dudes are doing. You take your little lady to the jazz concert with some wine,
That's good.
and it makes sense. So I think it's going to be there because I think there's an appetite for it, with this generation. So I think it's okay. I don't think it's going away personally.
Right. And to Cedric's question, what do you say to young musicians today? Trumpet, saxophonists trying to break into smooth jazz. What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, again, like I said before, the playing field has leveled out. So that's good news. That's good news for a young saxophone player in Chicago. The main thing is that, I always, I have my own radio show, and I bring in a lot of guests, like top-notch cats. And I always ask this question to them. What kind of advice can you give? And it's really, really great. For me, it's like you have to have the eye of the tiger. You have to really believe in yourself. I think you have to have thick skin. And if you believe if you believe in yourself, you're not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to take no for an answer. Before, it's like if such and such at RCA Records doesn't sign you, then you can forget it. But it doesn't work that way now. Now it's like, first it starts with, you have to really be on your game with your instrument, a trumpet or whatever you're playing. So be the best that you can be. You don't have to be me or anybody else. Be what you feel is
That's it.
Yeah, be yourself. And then, it's a business. I mean, now you get your website, you get your fans. They could start in your neighborhood, your family, and you just grow. But if you believe in yourself, I just think that's it. And
man,
yeah, that's wow. Really it. I had George Benson on my show. I have Peebo Bryson on my show. I hope you don't mind me plugging it, but I have a radio show.
Go right ahead.
Oh, please.
I have a radio show called The Turntable with Johnny Britt. and it's on Solar Radio out of London, England. If you forget what it was, you can go to johnnybritt.com and the information is there. But it's Solar Radio in London, England, and I'm out here in Los Angeles, so I'm on every Sunday at 4 p.m. every Sunday. And there's a repeat show that comes on every Friday at 6 p.m. Los Angeles time. But I've been really blessed to have some monsters on my show: Najee, Will Downing, Howard Hewitt, and I was just gonna make a quote from George Benson. He says, "Johnny, if you don't believe in what you're doing, nobody else will." And it really starts right there. It really starts there. So it's like, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one. So you have to you have to feel, what you're doing. You have to really believe in what you're doing. It takes, so now you got social media. I mean, it's really easy now. I mean, it's pretty, it's, unknown people, like I said, are coming through the woodworks because it's easy now. You can make your own records. If you know how to do that, you can build your own website. If you have a little money, you can pay a radio promoter. If they think they can work the record, they'll take your money and push it to the radio. So the bottom line is, like, I'm really happy because I'm doing what I love to do. It's a hell of a lot of work, but I absolutely love everything that I do. Wow. And it's not only playing the horn, it's not only singing and writing, hit records and producing records, but it's being a businessman. Being able to say, okay, I'm gonna pay this, to do this. I'm gonna pay this to do this. I'm gonna whatever to do whatever. And it just always say, if you're a young saxophone player, trumpet player, and if you want to give it like 2 years, go get a job, go do something else, because this is not the thing for you, because this is going to take time. Relationships are everything. Be really cool with everyone, and people they break their back for me. From starting with my band, I treat my band with dignity.
That's what's up.
Everyone that works with me, you treat them with respect, and that's just comes with like maturity, and that's just my advice. If you're happening, I mean, feel free to send me. You can send me something, and I can let you know what I think. If you're listening out there, it's just send it to johnnybritt.com. If you want to hear want my opinion, I will certainly give you all the advice that I have.
Wow, that's awesome, Johnny. A 3-part question here. What's been your takeaway? I mean, you've had some very rich experiences, worked with legendary people in this music game. You're legendary yourself, but what has been your takeaway personally with all this experience you've had?
You mean like what the takeaway? You mean like what do I take away from all of this?
Yes, for you personally. You've done a lot of great things, met a lot of great people, and done some really, amazing work. But at the end of all of this right now, like, what has been for you, like the takeaway for you with all that you've experienced?
That question has never been posed to me, Steve, with all the interviews I've done. And that's a really good one. I have to kind of think about it. But I would just say, really to be humble, to work hard, to be truthful. And I think that, the takeaway is like the sky is really the limit. The sky is that's what the takeaway is for me. I was really blessed. I was just in this new movie with Brad Pitt. Just finished shooting that like a couple weeks ago. I was a solo trumpet player in La La Land, that big scene with Meg Ryan and Ryan Gosling. I was a solo trumpet player in the movie Dunkirk, as well as Hidden Figures. So I just really try to stay humble and keep my nose to the grind, really work hard, and just really be thankful, because again, like I said, it started with me and Arsenio. We were in like school together in band, and I used to be at Arsenio's house. We had a band together, dreaming about being in the music business, being in the entertainment business. And this is like years ago, and we're like inner city kids from Cleveland, Ohio. you know. And so how many of us
Wow.
broke out of Cleveland? How many of us had the shot, you know? So it's kind of like being an athlete, you know, and how many athletes that really get a chance to get on the playing field, go to the NFL
Hey,
and do their thing. So
hey,
I'm I'm really humbled.
hey, Johnny, would you still be playing if you didn't make a dime?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is I don't know how I don't know how to do anything else. I mean, I've never done anything else in my whole life. I mean, okay, when I was little, I was a security guard. I had a paper route. Yeah, I had a security guard and I had a paper. I think I worked at this little delicatessen called Lawson's for a little bit where you cut bologna and whatever. But I've never had a 9 to 5. So this I don't know how to
Wow.
do nothing. And
That's
this,
awesome, man.
I mean, I'm horrible. Look, don't ask me to fix a car. Don't ask me to fix up the house. Man, look at here. I'm sorry, man. I'm not a builder. None of that. I am really
I
like,
hear you on that, man.
if it has something to do with arranging, composition, improvisation, music education, you know, vocal lessons, trumpet I can do all that stuff, you know, piano, whatever, but anything else, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I hear
man.
you. Johnny, and before we close this out, what's next? What is next for Johnny Britt?
Okay, I'm glad that you asked. We're on this year's Grammy Awards ballots for your consideration. And I'm very pleased to have several songs. But Peace Officer, please listen to and check out Peace Officer. We have a dynamic video. Both the video and the record are up for consideration for the Grammy Awards. And I had the great pleasure of having Malcolm Jamal Warner being my guest. I'm doing a great spoken word piece. And you can probably imagine what the song is about. Peace Officer. I'm not political at all. And so I had to kind of walk a fine line when I wrote these lyrics and wrote the whole song, because I didn't want it to be like pro-police or not against, against the police. It wasn't. It had to be really delicate. And when we did the first edit on the video, my editor is in Chicago, by the way, Floyd Webb. And when he gave me the first cut of the video, dude, it was like, wow. It was, people were saying they can't look at it because it was bad. It was like all one-sided, from the police brutality, killing people. I said, Floyd, we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back, because there are some, there are good cops, so we got to get some images of people loving the cops and cops helping people too, so I had to smooth that out. So you can check that out. It's us on YouTube, Officer. But yeah, I just wanted to send a message. I think my job as a musician is, I'm not a preacher, you go to Sunday service and get encouraged and that whole thing. But I think I'm a messenger of music. And I think, through my lyrics, through my voice, and through my horn, I know that I touch people. And I know that if I could just touch one person with this message of Peace Officer, I would be really, really happy. And of course, I wanted to spread to the community and the police, etc. So if you could please spread the word on Peace Officer, if you could share the video, be fantastic. I would really, really appreciate it, from the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
And also, we have a brand new song that is Calling, and that's the new fourth quarter jam that I'm very excited about. It's a different song. It's a bad tune. I'm of course, I wrote and produced everything, but on this particular record, I'm doing spoken word. And I got my Marvin vocals in there. I got the Miles trumpet in there. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited. That comes out on Tuesday. And like I said, I have a brand new book that'll be coming out in November. It's called The Soloist, and it's my autobiography of Johnny Britt. And all of that will be on my website. And we're just cooking with like gas, I'm gonna be in Mazatlan, Mexico, October 8th through the 11th. Big festival. with myself, Tom Brown. Oh, I just produced 2 songs with me and Tom Brown. I produced and wrote the songs, so you can look for that in 2022. It'll be I'm not gonna tell you the name of the song, but it'll be featuring Tom Brown and Johnny Britt, and they're both very, very hot. And he was definitely one of my great inspirations as a trumpet player. So we have that going on. I'm playing at the Mazatlan Jazz Festival with Marion Nettles, Tom Brown, Peter White,
Wow.
Wow.
Eric Darius. Yeah, so we're doing that. And I'll be going on a cruise to Mexico and some other places at the end of the month. That'll be with Lil Anthony and the Imperials. And then in December, we just booked this gig in North Carolina. I teamed up with Neil. I don't know if you're familiar with my buddy Nils. Nils is a guitar player, just a great cat, and we're buddies. And we have this Christmas show that we're doing together. So we're gonna take that to North Carolina, and we're gonna be actually doing a record together because we have this tour, Heart and Soul tour that we've been doing, and people have been asking for something with us together.
Wow.
And then I'll also
That is great. Wow.
booked on the yeah. Lastly, I'll be on the Capitol Jazz Cruise in January, and that's
Nice.
really exciting. Yeah, that's exciting for me because I'll be on the big stage, of course. But they also want me to do an up close and personal show midweek of just my Marvin Meets Miles album. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I have a
Yep.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Marvin Meets Miles. I'll be doing just only Marvin Meets Miles songs for that second show at the Capitol Jazz Cruise. So there's really a lot going on, and
Man, I mean it.
definitely
Wow.
stay busy.
You are busy.
Yeah.
Johnny Britt.
Yes,
Thanks, guys.
sir.
Thank you.
Man, this has been an honor. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, man. And we want everybody that watched the show, please, download,
Yes,
the
please.
song, the new song.
Please.
Yeah.
And the book. I mean, again, and also with your talk show. Again, tell us how they can listen in and find it.
Absolutely. You can go to solarradio.com. Once again, that's solarradio.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time. So that's 6 o'clock for you guys in Chicago. And I think
Right.
7 o'clock if you're on the East Coast of New York. That's every Sunday. And if you missed the show there, you can go to Mixcloud, mixcloud.com. I have like 47 episodes now. Some of my guests have been, like I said, Otis Williams from the Temptations, of course, Little Anthony, Najee, Will Downing, George Benson.
Yes, sir.
I just had Joe Austin on the show last week from the Manhattan. So it's been really cool. But you can go to mixcloud.com if you missed any of the shows, and you can download any of the 47 episodes that you want and listen, at your leisure. And if you forget about all this stuff, just go to johnnybritt.com because it's there.
There
And
it is.
feel free to join our newsletter at johnnybritt.com and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Everything is Johnny Britt, and I so appreciate this opportunity, guys.
Man, we appreciate you.
There it is,
We want
bro.
you to
I'm a
sing
fan.
just
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, definitely. And we want you to sing just a little bit before we close out. But before we do that,
Johnny
we
Britt.
want to thank everybody for tuning in to Stephen Cedric Talking to the Band.
Hey,
If
don't
you've
forget
missed any of our
Instagram and
previous
Twitter.
episodes, that's right. Missed any of our previous episodes, go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Smash that like button, like the videos. Cedric, where else can they find us at, bro?
Yeah. Instagram and Twitter, y'all. Steve and Cedric, the @2, Talking to the Band, y'all.
Well, make
Yes.
sure when I come to Chicago, I was actually supposed to come to Chicago. I played at the Promontory before, and I was gonna be back there, but it conflicted with another show. But when I come back to Chicago, I want to make sure that you guys are in the house.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
That's
Johnny
it.
Britt,
You heard that, y'all. You heard it.
we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
We're gonna be right
yeah,
there.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this joint right here. Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hold on a second. All right. Yeah. Again, thanks a lot. I'm gonna give you a little something from my to Marvin Meets Miles record. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna do it one more time. Again, thanks so much for having me. This is Johnny Britt. Uh-oh. Mother, there's far too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Picket signs with picket lines. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? I tell you, hey. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cedric.
Johnny Britt.
Johnny Britt, y'all.
Johnny
Steve and Cedric
Britt.
talking to the band, y'all.
Cedric, that's
Hey.
all I got, baby.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all. Peace and love.
Take care. All right, I'm out of here. Later.
Thanks, guys.